I want to share this with you, dear family. Great are thy judgments. It tells us in the book, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and verses 1 in specific, great are thy judgments and hard to describe. Therefore, uninstructed souls have gone astray. So instruction is counsel, is guidance. Again, judgment, we're talking about judgment because the Bible tells us in Psalms 9 and 16 that the Most High is known by the judgment that he executed. Followed up by verses 17, Psalms 9 and 17, the nation that forgets the Most High shall be turned into what? Hell. Now, I'm looking right here in my Apocrypha, and I'm going to read this in a little bit later on today here, Father willing, the Most High permits. But it tells us in 2nd Ezra chapter 2 in verses, watch this, 28 through 29 in specific. The nations shall envy you. Right now, people don't envy. They don't envy the Most High's people, not for righteousness' sake. If they envy the Most High's people, they envy the Most High's people for some of the, the Most High certainly blessed a lot of his inheritance, Israel. The way that we sing, we worship the Most High. The way that, they can get out there and slam a basketball, catch a football, right? These are the things that people, not just that, but the way that they look, the shape, if they're showing, these are the things that people are desirous about. They literally do this, right? But now the scripture says there's a time that's going to come. I'm going to show it to us in this setting. Righteousness will be forced. And the nations who did not follow what the Most High said will envy Israel and say, my goodness, they wish that they would have done it. So it tells us here in verses 28, reading quick, the nations shall envy you, but they shall not be able to do anything against you. The same way, what is that like? The same way when Noah entered onto the ark, the people was like, Noah, let us in. They envied Noah's position, right? The waters of the flood judgment came upon them. Noah was in safety. They're on the outside, not knowing what their future is like. So they're mad at Noah because they had never seen rain before. It was something that totally caught them off guard, like many people in this, and even up until the day of the coming of Yeshua will get caught off of guard. Doesn't matter how much preaching, doesn't matter how many, it doesn't matter, none of that. But why is that? Because one has to take heed to themselves in the doctrine. That's the only way that we can save ourselves and others that hear us. But if we ourselves aren't taking heed, then that means that we can get caught off of guard and you'll get caught slipping. And if you get caught slipping, it's woe to us if we get caught slipping. That's all I'm going to say. So if we keep his judgments, his laws as the apple of our eye, we put them up on the pedestal because they're supposed to be the centerpiece of our lives. This is your life. It is not a vain thing to do it. Why? Because you got the Most High God. I'm going to show it to you. You got the Most High God. And what can be likened to the Most High God? Could silver and gold? Could fortune and fame? Could notoriety? Nothing. But yet, in the day and age that we live in, people say that they have God. They want all these particular things, but they're not willing to let those things go and put those to the side to have the Most High be first in their lives. And he will not be second for no one, right? Not even for ourselves, because oftentimes we put ourselves first when it comes, right? And sometimes as parents and guardians, right, as grandparents and so forth, and those who we put our love, as husbands, we put our wives before us, right, our families before us. But the Most High won't even be second to them, which is a manifest token of the righteous judgment. That word judgment is, hopefully it goes to it, in the Greek, krama, a decision. The function or the effect for or against, in parentheses, a crime, avenge. So there are those who have done a crime to humanity, if you will, or to mankind, the fallen watchers that came down and taught man the secret things and began to corrupt the earth. But it was introduced to them as a better way. And yes, they taught them the tincture of cutting and splicing, right? Taught them the different things of metals, taught them things of how to, what do they call that? And the cosmos. That's what they did. And what did Satan say? He said that he would be like the Most High, so he would deceive mankind to help mankind to destroy themselves. The devil will help you to destroy yourself. Okay, and then once he got you hooked and you become a fanatic or a fiend off of, when you look at that word fiend, that's a demon. It's something that needs to be fed. And once you become hooked on it, now it's no longer you. It's the thing that's living inside of you. And even the real you inside of you will be grieved and be crying out, no matter what it is, whether it's what do they call that? A nympho. That's the word I'm looking for. A nympho, whether it's drunken, whether it's pleasure, okay, all these particular things. It tells us here that, which is a manifest token of the righteous judgment of the Most High, that ye may be counted worthy of the kingdom of Ahiah, for which ye also suffer. So right now you got to endure. You got to discipline yourself. But even, you have to discipline and devote yourself and be on your guard, even amongst your loved ones, if they haven't submitted to the Most High. Because what if they're doing things that the Most High just warned us here in Deuteronomy 12? Do not do the things that the other people are doing to their gods that he hated, lest we do the same thing and say, Most High, accept us. We're your people. We called on you, but we're doing things that he detests. Verse 6, seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you, and to you who are troubled, rest with us when our king Yeshua shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels. Verse 8, in flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not the Most High. So the only way that we can know the Most High is study his judgments and see what brought upon those things. What's all the nuances that, what will be revealed unto us? What are people's, how do I say this? What's their responsible role in those judgments? What do they do? Okay, because in the judgment, there can be someone causing harm or doing injustices. And then there's those who are suffering from the injustices, and they're waiting for deliverance. They're waiting and they're praying and beseeching the Most High to deliver them from the hands of those who are doing all of these inhumane or unjust things on them. So it says here in verses 8, in flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not Ahiah, and that obey not the gospel of our governor Yeshua HaMashiach. Verse 9, who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Most High and from the glory of his power. Verses 10, when he shall come to be glorified in his saints. So he's coming to be glorified. The only way he can be glorified, and it told us, I believe, if I remember correctly, I want to say 2 Ezra 5, if I remember correctly, that the Most High is glorified in those of us who have suffered for righteousness' sake. That's how he's glorified. And I know it doesn't feel good. It never feels good, but he gets glorified. And why? Because we would suffer and we would endure all the scrutiny and not looking to get payback on someone, and not looking to, you get what I'm saying? Smite with the fist of wickedness, but would say, Most High, save us. Because if we try to take our own vengeance, the wickedness or the evil which is upon them that blinded them, that anger might cause us to justify ourselves, and by default pollute and corrupt us, because we're not all perfect like the Most High. So we have to trust in him. I hope you get that. So it says, when he shall come to be glorified in the saints and to be admired and listened to in all them that believe, because our testimony among you was believed in that day. So in that day, that means in that day, that's the day of the Most High. That's when the nations will envy God's people. That's when the sinners, and when I say sinners, the wicked, those who have been condemned, they condemned themselves. They did it. I, neither nor do you, have the power to condemn anyone. Okay? But we can contend for the faith. So they condemn themselves by what? Not obeying the glorious gospel of HaMashiach. Okay? And sometimes they do it in ignorance. If our gospel be hid, it is hid to them who the lowercase g, the God of this world, has blinded their minds or their eyes, lest they should see the glorious gospel of Yeshua and be what? Be converted. So most time people don't want to hear nothing about these judgments. They'll blame it on and to to excuse it and write it off. They'll say what? You've heard it. Here's the catchphrase. Leviticus 26, 1 through 13 are the blessings. That's also judgment. And in 14 through 46, it talks about these are the statutes and judgments and laws, which the Most High made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. So in specific, when we look at verses 40 through 40, if they shall confess their iniquity, it's something that confession is a powerful thing. And the iniquity of their fathers with their trespasses. So our fathers trespassed, which they trespassed against who? Against him, the Most High. And that also they have walked contrary unto who? To the Most High again. See? So we wasn't walking. Remember, Enoch knew the Most High. He walked with the Most High. It's all about our walk. So judgment has to go with our walk too. Verse 41, and that I also have walked contrary unto who? Them, to us. So the Most High says, since, listen, you're acting strange. This is not who I called you to be. I don't even know you. So it's like we didn't know. So since we walked contrary to him, he did it unto us. And he says, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If, so now here's the stipulation, then their uncircumcised hearts, remember the mind, go back to Jeremiah 17 and 9. The heart is desperately wicked and deceitful above all things. Who can know it? The Most High. It tells us in verses 10 that he tries the reins of the heart, right? That heart is our mind. So it says, if then their uncircumcised mind be humbled and they then accept, that means consent of didn't it say judgment? Let me hold on. Let's tie this together. So judgment, let's go back up to the top. Reading quick. I'm gonna go right to it. H8199. Does that say punishment in here? Here it is. H in the brew. I'm gonna try to get it for us. H8199. Look what it says. Shafat. To judge, that is pronounced sentence for or against by implication, to vindicate or punish. So now that we have accepted, and the only way you can accept it is that you accept who you are as being Israel, and that this indeed happened to us, and will continue to happen, right? When you go into Leviticus 26 and you read from 14 and on down. But the Most High put a clause in there that we can be reconciled to him if we accept of the punishment of our iniquity. And if we do that, having a right demeanor towards the Most High, I guess you could use that word, right? That so now that we come to him and say, now we can see, but until we looked at his judgment, we didn't know none of these things. Because again, his judgments are great and hard to describe. When we see and we hear about a whole city, a whole world getting took out. So we don't know. That means we don't even know to the extent of the evil that was in that society or that world, or the evils that plague the world today, and how that if the Most High did not cut the time short, no flesh would be saved. Verse 42, then will I remember. So if we accept it, so when I accept, and when you accept the punishment, the Most High then remembers. I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land. Even denying the Most High that bought them, and bring upon themselves. See, remember I said, none of us we don't have power to condemn someone or not. And they bring upon themselves swift destruction, and many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth, see that, shall be evil spoken of. So bringing this into context, we're only at the second verse. If we look at, do not be anxious for when the day of tribulation, okay, and anguish comes Others shall weep and be sorrowful. So when the day of the Most High comes, but you shall rejoice and have abundance, and that's why the nations will envy us. The nations shall envy you, but they shall not be able to do anything against you, saith the Most High. My hands will cover you, that your sons may not see Gehenna. That's the deepest, okay, the deep hell.